2 weeks after the deadly Covenant School shooting, Governor Bill Lee wants GOP lawmakers to draft a tougher order of protection law to keep dangerous people from buying guns. There is reluctance on the part of the governor's party.
They've got a description of white camo, and they're actually hearing gunfire.
2 weeks after the mass shooting at the Covenant School that claimed 6 lives, including 3 9-year-old children, Governor Bill Lee wants lawmakers to act to keep guns away from dangerous people and signs an executive order improving background check information available to law enforcement. There is a new approach from the GOP concerning gun violence. Talk about evil, not guns.
The truth is that we're facing evil itself, and we can't stop evil, but we can do something. And when there is a clear need for action, I think that we have an obligation, and I certainly do, to remind people that we should set aside politics and pride and accomplish something that the people of Tennessee want us to get accomplished. It's been a very emotionally charged couple of weeks, but we have to stay focused on the path forward. Tennesseans are depending on us.
Last week, legislation was approved to add armed security guards in every public school, and the governor admitted had the tragic mass murder at the Covenant School not happened, this school safety measure may not have passed.
I brought forth a piece of legislation last week. The Tennessee House in the General Assembly passed that school safety legislation in an incredibly bipartisan way, 95-4, the vote for that school safety legislation. And I bring up that vote to encourage Tennesseans that, I think before Covenant, it wouldn't have been possible to get a 95-4 vote on a piece of legislation surrounding school safety. We should be encouraged that there is a moment in time where people can come together and get something done.
Now, the governor wants lawmakers to approve a new, stronger order of protection law to keep dangerous people from being able to purchase weapons. Details are not yet known, as the legislation is not yet written, and how this would work is unclear.
It is possible, and it is important that we find a way to remove individuals who are a threat to themselves or to our society, to remove them from access to weapons. I'm asking the legislature to bring forth thoughtful, practical measures to do that, to strengthen our laws to separate those dangerous people from firearms, while at the same time preserving the constitutional rights of the people of this state. And I also said that I thought we should get it done by this year. And by this year, what I mean is by this legislative session. It is possible to get this done. I think we can work together. I've been working with the legislature for the past 2 weeks about next steps. There are a lot of details yet to hammer out. Protective orders are led by law enforcement. They have a high standard burden of proof. There is due process, requires clear and convincing evidence that a person that has shown that they are a real threat to themselves or to others, that person, that individual should not have access to firearms.
So far, there is no sponsor for the Stronger Order of Protection bill. The governor also signed an executive order to improve background check information available to law enforcement.
The existing background check process for purchasing a firearm only works when there is accurate and timely information that's available. Later today, I'm going to sign an executive order that will ensure that the process of sharing information more closely guarantees the safe, lawful purchase of firearms in Tennessee.
Last year, Governor Lee signed legislation allowing gun owners to open carry anywhere without training or a permit, and supports lowering the age to purchase a handgun to 18. Now he wants to take steps to keep guns away from dangerous people, and is already facing opposition from some Republicans.
I certainly hope that there's bipartisan support sufficient to get this done. We're at a moment in time in Tennessee where, because of the incredible emotional responses to what's happened in the last couple of weeks, all across the board, I'm one that believes that really difficult circumstances can bring about really positive outcomes. I think those of us who are in the positions that we're in the General Assembly and certainly in my office, we think now is that time. I certainly believe it's that time. And I'm hoping and hopeful that people will not have preconceived ideas, will be open to discussing and bringing forth ideas and saying, we have to move forward. This is our moment to lead and to give the people of Tennessee what they deserve.
The governor says the goal is a safer environment for all Tennesseans.
I think we've said there are steps, and we should never stop. We should never stop creating a safer environment. That's why I just talked to law enforcement and thanked them for what they were doing. One of those officers said that he believes that his response was the result of 10 years of continued improvement in processes along the way that led to the moment that he saved lives. And that's why we should never stop. This is not the answer. This is an appropriate step, and we'll continue to make those steps.
Stay with us. This week continues in a moment. It has happened again. Another mass shooting, this time in a Louisville bank. 6 are dead, including the gunman. 8 others were wounded, including 2 police officers. Rena Roy is following the latest developments from this situation.
Yet another mass shooting in America. This time, the violence unfolding in downtown Louisville at this Old National Bank.
Shots fired. Shots fired here. EMS here now. He's going to just over the hill.
Police say the gunman, armed with a long gun, according to witnesses, opened fire on a first-floor conference room around 8:30 a.m. local time.
Within 3 minutes of being dispatched, officers arrived on scene and encountered the suspect almost immediately, still firing gunshots.
He had a long assault rifle, and you hear the shots just start firing. We have a break room, and I got in there and shut the door for a second, and then I was looking around, I opened the door to see where he was at, and I could see him still shooting. I didn't see his face, and then I took off running out the front door.
At least 4 people were killed and 9 more injured, including 2 police officers. One of them shot in the head and rushed into surgery at the hospital.
Officers down on the steps in front of the bank.
Governor Andy Beshear says he knew some of those who were killed.
I have a very close friend that didn't make it today. And I have another close friend who didn't either, and one who's at the hospital that I hope is going to make it through.
Investigators believe the suspect had a connection to the bank.
The suspect has been identified as Connor Sturgeon, white male, 23 years of age, who was employed at Old National Bank.
We want to warn you, newly released Louisville police body camera video is difficult to watch. It shows police racing to stop the Louisville mass shooter who killed 5 people. Here's Lindsay Watts.
2 Louisville police officers racing to stop a gunman in Monday's deadly bank shooting.
Pull up.
The shooter ambushing the officers from the lobby of Old National Bank. Rookie officer Nicholas Wilt and his training officer Corey Galloway take fire as they pull up. Officer Wilt shot in the head as he runs up the stairs. Officer Galloway is grazed by a bullet. He finds cover.
He's shooting straight through these windows, right towards the officer.
Authorities say Galloway returned fire, killing the 25-year-old shooter.
I think I got him down. I think he's down. Suspect down. Get the officer.
It was exactly the response we needed. I would love to have either one of those officers ride with me any day. They did absolutely exactly what they needed to do to save lives.
Police say the gunman, a bank employee, used an AR-15 he bought less than a week before the attack. He opened fire in a crowded conference room while live streaming on Instagram. Tonight we're learning more about the 5 lives taken. Josh Barrick had a wonderful sense of humor, was sentimental, and was passionate about life. Deanna Eckert remembered for how good and how sweet she was and generous. Tommy Elliott was an incredible friend. Governor Andy Beshear saying he was one of the people I talked to most in the world. Juliana Farmer's family telling us she was a beautiful person that loved her family and friends. And Jim Tutt was incredibly passionate and had a teacher's heart.
The police chief said tonight, while lives were lost, countless others were saved after those officers confronted the shooter head on. The deputy chief adding that no one else was killed after police arrived. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Louisville.
Stay with us. This Week continues in a moment.